Getting straight to the point in today's Pokemon theory, what if I told you almost every single Pokemon was man-made? Yes, created by humanity. What if I told you that all of the Pokemon that you know were actually created by humans? You would probably be astonished and you would want some evidence to back that up. Well, in today's Pokemon Theory contest entry, I have just the theory for you. If you'd like to contribute to my Pokemon Theory contest, all you have to do is follow the instructions in the video in the description below, and you could possibly win $100. Now, I'm going to hand it over to today's video topic, which is, what if every single Pokemon was man-made, with the exception of one?
All Pokemon are man-made. Well, with the exception of one maybe, but we'll get into that soon. It's been hidden since the very first Pokemon games, and no one seems to have caught on to this Poke conspiracy. But how is it possible? To answer this, we must first take in two hard facts to consider. First and foremost, the Pokemon world is in fact our world. And there are hints everywhere in the Pokedex. The second fact we must also take into consideration is that animals, normal Earth-based creatures, have existed in the Pokemon world at one point or another. There are plenty of examples that appear in the anime, manga, and again in the games, with various Pokedex entries making references to real-life creatures. One specific Pokemon hides the secret to this whole mystery, and that Pokemon is Mew. In Mew's Pokedex entry, it literally states, its DNA is said to contain the genetic codes of all Pokemon, so it can use all kinds of techniques. Mew was discovered by Dr. Fujin in the very real jungles of Guyana, South America. Mew's discovery was kept secret to the public and was instead whisked away to the Pokemon Mansion at Cinnabar Island, where experiments were performed in an attempt to recreate this new species. And new species just so happens to be Mew's nickname. Why is this important? Well, this nickname, when coupled with the fact that Mew is known as the ancestor of all Pokemon, may reveal that she is in fact the source of all Pokemon. Pokemon was a new species that was discovered, and Mew was the very first specimen. It is revealed in Pokemon Red and Blue that their failed attempts to clone Mew led them to create Mewtwo. A well-known fan theory also claims that Ditto was a failed attempt to create another Mew. That fan theory remains in most fans' headcanon, as it indisputably proves that Ditto is a faulty Mew clone by virtue of Ditto also having access to every Pokemon's DNA. Another key piece of evidence is that the only place you could find Ditto in the original games is in the very same mansion where the Mew experiments took place. But Ditto isn't the only Pokemon found in this mansion. There are plenty of others, and their inclusion actually tells a much larger story. The truth is that the real Pokedex should actually be Mew, Ditto, Grimer, Muck, Rattata, Raticate, Vulpix, Ninetales, Growlithe, Arcanine, and Mewtwo. All of these Pokemon have origins tied to the experiments at the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island by Dr. Fuji. Some would argue that evolution, Pokemon evolution, not Darwinian evolution, is a Pokemon-specific trait. However, consider the fact that Pokemon don't actually evolve on their own. Mew, the first Pokemon ever, doesn't evolve. Nor does Mewtwo. Nor does Ditto. The Pokemon that do evolve require humans to constantly battle them, increasing their levels and allowing them to evolve. Evolution stones and items like rocks and scarves are what make certain Pokemon evolve. Items that Pokemon would never come into possession in nature. So what is it that causes certain Pokemon to react to these particular items, and thereby evolve? Let's go back to Grimer. Grimer is the result of electromagnetic radiation, X-rays, emitted from the moon. Being that Grimer could only be found in the same mansion where the Mew experiments took place, it could be extrapolated that the sludge that created Grimer contained Mew DNA, specifically Mew cloning residue. Including Mewtwo and Ditto, that's 3 Pokemon that have direct ties to the Mew experiments. With Grimer, Dr. Fuji, or as he's now known, Mr. Fuji, unlocked the potential of Pokemon evolution. Pokemon Gold and Silver solidifies the idea that electromagnetic radiation created Pokemon evolution. In these games, Team Rocket uses electromagnetic waves to induce early Pokemon evolution on Magikarp in Lake Rage. Pokeballs, the King's Rock, the PC storage system, the evolutionary stones, all these objects emit radiation. This radiation is similar enough to what is emitted by the moon. This explains how there could be a level 9 Pidgeotto in the wild, but a captive Pidgey could never evolve until level 18. The wild Pidgey's uninterrupted exposure to the moonlight is obviously what causes early evolution. Conversely, Pokemon evolve at specific levels because they are kept in Pokeballs, and Pokeballs uniformly provide the exact dosage of radiation each Pokemon needs to survive. So Charmanders will want to start evolving at level 16 because the amount of radiation in the Pokeball is telling it it's time to evolve. So now that Mr. Fuji tapped into the potential of Pokemon evolution, what animal would he choose to test his new strain of Grimer DNA on? Keeping in mind that this is a world that is based off of our own, it's safe to assume that Mr. Fuji used lab rats. Thus, the evolutionary properties of Grimer DNA were isolated and injected into lab rats. My hypothesis is that Rattatas were the first Pokemon to ever evolve by using isolated Grimer DNA, which explains the purple coloring. It's further backed up by the fact that it could also learn Toxic, and if it's not clear what's going on here, let me spell it out. Mr. Fuji was engineering Pokemon in the Cinnabar Island mansion, using Mew as a jumping off point. And it seems as though he was not alone.